This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. Rob just got back from Los Angeles on a red-eye flight earlier today, so he could pass out any minute. The good news is, we probably won't be able to tell the difference. Burn. Our IP Livecast starts now.
You got me, Shannon. She got me good. Welcome to RIP Livecast.
She got you pegged.
Oh no!
Whoa! How dare she?
I hope there was consent.
I'm the top.
That's an old phrase that you can't use anymore. Nice quaint saying. It's useless now.
I mean, you could use it in front of your parents.
That's
Right.
true.
Anyone younger than that. No.
Welcome to RIP Livecast. There will be no pegging this evening, as far as I know. It's not on the rundown.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry, folks. No pegging.
Sorry,
Not
folks.
gonna
We
be
will not
pegging.
be pegging. Everyone's pegging now. I'm hearing all this about pegging.
Why did you both immediately turn to Trump for that? I don't understand.
Because he said
How
sorry,
did
folks.
Yeah, but I don't
Sorry,
understand why that's like a Trumpism. Sorry,
Yeah,
folks.
definitely. Folks, the folks thing. Obama started it and then Trump appropriated it. A lot of folks out here are pegging. Young kids love the pegging.
But yeah, I did just get back from LA, which is why I'm wearing my Brooklyn Dodgers hat, because fuck the LA Dodgers.
Did you
I'm
run
kidding,
into, it's a color thing in blue and
Oh, yeah.
red in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's a good point.
no
I
problem.
didn't
I should
think
have
about
reminded
it,
you
no.
before you went out there.
Yeah, well, I stayed in Hollywood, which sounds much fancier than it was.
Yeah.
Because it was like, there's Hollywood and Vine, which is, that's where like Jimmy Kimmel Live is taped.
Right.
It's like, where the superheroes stand. It's like basically their Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
But then just half a mile down on on Vine and Santa Monica Boulevard, where I stayed, it's just regular ass LA.
Yeah.
It's like not Hollywood at all.
Well, every inch of it can't be like Roman's Chinese theater,
Yeah.
Well, but it's so wild because it's like, look, there's like, homeless encampments and all that. And it's a bummer. But then a block later, it's the Netflix offices. And then a
Right.
block later, it's like a Taco Bell, and then like Civilization again. So it's and then the next block is the Paramount lot. It's very odd. I don't know.
Now, has that changed since you've been there? Because you've been to LA many times, once definitely with me and
Yeah.
Sid. So
Yeah.
is it
Well,
a
the
new
Netflix thing
experience?
is new. I feel like every experience is a new experience, just because it's less. I don't know what the word I don't want to say like dawn. It's less. It feels less intimidating and like touristy and more familiar every time I go. So I always feel like I get a different kind of aspect, and it's so massive that I constantly end up in a neighborhood that I've never been in or whatever. Like I went down to Long Beach to see this PCW show, and it was
What does
really
PCW stand for?
Pacific Coast Wrestling.
I
and,
hadn't heard of them until you mentioned this to me.
Yeah, oh, they're like a cool like super indie. They bring in lucha stars, and it was really cool, and it was interesting to be in that neighborhood. It felt like Bushwick, but like Bushwick before the gentrification, when it was 90% Latino.
Yeah, you showed me the like some video for that you took from that show,
Mhm.
and my instant gut reaction was it looks like they took a high quality ring, very nice looking ring, and put it in Our Lady of Guadalupe, where they used to do those old shows.
Yeah, it was like
church.
a big kind of that, or some sort of community center.
Mhm.
Absolutely, and
And I don't mean that
it was very well
mockingly.
done.
I love those types
No.
of shows, honestly.
I went to that, and the night before, there's this new promotion called Circle 6, and they're kind of very much like if they're going for the like Squared Circle Pit vibe, sort of, because it's like metal and wrestling very much.
Mhm.
Danny Lohner, the former touring guitarist of Nine Inch Nails, was the guest DJ for the night, which was really cool.
Well, tell the
And a bunch
truth,
of industrial
dude.
stuff.
They tried to use Squared Circle 6, and you sued the shit out of them.
That's right.
That's how you could afford that hat.
So I didn't realize this, but so there's the franchise promotion, Circle 6. And then there's their sub niche thing called 7, which is all death matches.
Oh.
And that's what I went to watch. And I personally, like, I'm not someone that would go out of my way to see death matches, but I was invited, and I met. They're all very cool people, the promoters, and one of the wrestlers' names was Rob Shit, and I cannot.
No way.
Rob, look it up. I will look it up.
I'm sorry. Let me
I
clarify.
gotta tell you, I lost my pun intended shit.
Let me clarify. I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you here. I'm not disputing the man is calling himself Rob Shit. I'm saying no way that's his real name.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Right?
It's actually
Well, I don't know.
Shitowitz.
Flip shits or something.
So here's Rob Shit, and I cannot tell you the fun I had starting chants for Rob Shit. I was going, this is shit. This is, and like, you know how?
Where is he? I don't see him.
Hold on. I'm loading the.
When he botches, you go, you shit it up. You shit it up.
You shit up. Yeah. Or like, so he was doing kicks in the corner like Daniel Bryan would do. And when Daniel Bryan does them, the crowd chants yes. So I started chanting, shit, shit, shit.
Were you the only one chanting?
No, I got it. Everyone was getting in on it. I put this guy over. I made this guy's career. So here's Rob Shit.
Let's see Rob Shit in action. Oh no! He looks just like Ron Jeremy. No, he's the belly button. The belly button has now escaped. He's reached the escape velocity of Ron Jeremy's navel.
If Ron Jeremy's belly button was a deathmatch wrestler, would they let it out of prison on weekends to fight or no? Does it have to stay locked up with Ron?
He deserves to earn a living. Sins of the father and all that.
That looks like Tim Heidecker if he was dressed up as Ryan Brian.
Here he's Rob McKnight. I guess that's his PG name. But that's bullshit. The name is Rob Shit.
Is it SHIT, Rob Shit?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Nothing clever. It's just pure old Rob Shit.
Just pure shit.
JSC asks, does he shit his pants? No, he does not.
Oh.
It's going to be very relevant to my playlist pick this week.
El Deuterino says Ron Jeremy's chest looks like my back. He's not wrong.
His chest,
wrong. Like
your back,
like Ron Jeremy's chest looks like Sid's back.
Yes,
not Deuterino's back.
No.
Why did he capitalize Sid only and no other word in that sentence?
He's probably on mobile. I'm
the only thing in there that should be capitalized.
What is he talking about? Like sudden infant death syndrome a lot, and this phone remembered it, or what's going on?
Anytime I do that, like if I'm writing Sid's and I don't include the apostrophe, it auto caps it.
That's so weird. I write Sid all the time, and I don't. You're a frequent topic of discussions.
Oh no.
It even capitalizes Sid now. I had to teach it that.
Strange. Phones don't like me, I guess. All right.
Also, I went to so I was at one of those shows. I ran into a buddy of mine who's also a metal journalist. And
Jose Mangin?
It was in Jose Mangin. I think he was out of town. He was in Costa Rica or something.
That's just what he told you.
You're right.
This fucking guy wants to come over and eat my food. Get out of here.
Unbelievable.
Take more free lighters.
I could use some. No, he was like, hey, did you hear that Cynic is playing tomorrow?
I was going to ask you about this.
And I was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I guess I haven't seen them in a while. He's like, yeah, it's their first show in 8 years.
I
guess
they'll do
it. And so this was during the same time as the PCW Ultra show. So I just watched half of the wrestling show, got in my car, which was a rental, and I ended up getting a Tesla. I'll talk about that in a minute. And got up to North Hollywood and went there. And it was pretty wild because I did not have a ticket. I was like, whatever, I'll just buy a ticket.
Right.
And when I got to the door, it was all sold out. I was like, ugh. All right. Now I have to like find somebody.
Don't you know Paul
And it took-
Masvidal?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I do know Paul Masvidal, and I was like, I want to find, I need to find somebody to like walk me in or something.
So you went on the local
And-
city Reddit to ask how to get into a wrestling show?
How to get into Cynic. No,
Oh, right, Cynic.
and like literally the moment I walked out the door, I ran into somebody that I knew who used to live in New York, and he just happened to have a spare ticket. He was like, "Oh yeah, you can have it. Thanks." It took 2
I
seconds.
can't imagine knowing so many people that you just
Seriously.
run into them in a gigantic city like Los Angeles.
Well, but it's
At a
within
metal
the context
show, I
of
suppose.
a metal show of a band that like we covered a lot, and like the scene that like so the musicians that he has now as his session guys are guys that were in up and coming bands that we championed a lot. So like I know a lot of I knew what's
I
that?
guess that champion didn't really do much for those bands. If now they're just
What do you mean?
backing
Well,
up
it got
some other
it got
guy.
him this gig. What do you mean? No, it's all right. He left the Faceless. It was for the best. The bassist of the Faceless left the Faceless.
Say that 5 times fast, please.
The bassist of the Faceless left the Faceless. 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 The bassist of the Faceless left the Faceless.
Very good.
Now do it without being in character as a 1930s gangster side.
The
gig.
bassist of the Faceless. Of
No,
the
you're
Faceless.
doing
Damn it! I fucked it up. I can't do it. I got to do the
But
voice.
the voice helped it, I think. Turned into Edward G. Robinson. Yeah, see the faceless.
Yeah, see, the bassist of the Faceless left the Faceless. Dorino says once you've given up your metal injection, Rob gets into a lot less places. Well,
Yes.
didn't prove true today or at Cynic, so that was really exciting, and it was cool because I ran into so many people that I knew, and it felt like a little mini reunion with all like I hadn't seen these people in forever, and for one thing they live in LA, and for another I don't really go to shows, so it was really great to connect with a bunch of people and also get props from the local LA metalheads. And it was like one of those things while I was online. Someone's like, "Hey man, you're a Metal Injection, right?" And I was like, "Yep, that's me. Cool." And I was like, "Oh, you probably read the site or whatever." And in a way, I was like almost eye rolly because it's like, oh, he doesn't know my name. He just knows metal. But okay, fine. But I bit my tongue because his next line was, I was watching back when it was 30-minute episodes. He goes, "You guys got me into death. You got me into Cynic. And I used to watch everything all the time. And I loved the Moscow Metal Minute." And so I was like, at this point, I was like, okay, you're my best friend.
That made me so happy. And also, he mentioned the Growl Off. He said that was the first
that was
episode I was in.
Yeah, that was the episode where we played Death, and that was the first time he heard Death. So we got him into it, and then so that was really cool.
Wasn't there a
and I
Growl
think
Off, and then Noah won, and we like superimposed the sound on her, like we ADR'd?
Yeah, so like everyone did an actual growl, and then for Noah it was like a lion growl, and everybody was like, "Oh my god,
blown away.
She's amazing." I think that's actually on YouTube. Let's see.
Dorino said he's forgotten that Growl Off. You were well within your rights to forget it because it was 2004, I think.
Jesus. Rob, if you play that clip, will Metal Injection give us a copyright strike?
I mean, they could. It's possible.
We're back here on Metal Injection, and
Oh
I'd like
my
to
God.
There's me.
Metal Injection Growl Off.
Oh, that's definitely a copyright infringement.
Didn't I do a Chuck Schuldiner impression in this also?
Yeah.
The scariest, most.
That was the thing. Like, you kind of
pissed people off.
You kind of burned Chuck Schuldiner pretty bad in this Growl Off.
I did?
But
How did I burn him? I don't remember this.
let's see.
I think I just did an accurate impression, and he has a
ear-wrenching
weird
growl
voice.
Will win a special prize, which is in this very pocket. Let's start with our first contestant.
Look at how not
We got
gigantic my
buddies from
stomach
my radio show, our radio show, the worst radio show in the world. I got Darren. Darren, say some more.
Hi. I'd like to dedicate this growl to the world's
first and only gay death metal
Oh.
frontman, Chuck from Death.
I said he was gay.
This
Is that
one's
why?
for you, Chuck.
Yeah.
I don't even remember doing that. I thought. Can I say something here? By the way, this is 100% true. I legitimately thought he was gay. That was not a.
There are rumors that he's gay.
That was
but
not
it's
me
never
being
been...
funny or like shocking. I legitimately thought he was gay, and I thought I was making a joke, like by saying that, but not at his expense that he was gay. I really thought he was gay.
Yeah.
And there was rumors, right? I'm not imagining that.
Yeah. There's some you could if you Google your way through it, you could see like lyrics that seem like suggesting that he may have been gay or some kind of questioning.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's get back to the.
Just want to defend myself on that.
Oh yeah. Also, this is from 20 years ago now, so keep that in mind.
But
As you can tell by the video quality,
I think even 20 years ago, I wouldn't have made fun of somebody like that, like in that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's down with his Chuck from Death tribute of a growl. Up next is the mighty Ryan from the even mightier Grail. Ryan, say some words.
God. I'd like to dedicate this one to all the exploding whales across the world.
Ryan's dedicating this growl to the whales. Ryan?
Ryan was always a great growler.
This guy sort of looks like if me and the wrestler Roadkill had a son. It's creepy.
I see it.
Get off the stage. Get off the stage. Get off the stage.
I thought mine was
off the stage.
This was recorded at Fastlane Studios, too.
Oh, my God.
The mighty Eddie from the even mightier
Oh,
Fecal
no.
Corpse.
This guy's band was
Eddie, say
Fecal
some
Corpse.
words.
Oh, this guy.
Fuck off. Eddie always knows that he has to curb the cursing. Thanks, Eddie, you piece of shit. All right. So here we go, Eddie. Give us your
Why do you have to
growl.
curb the cursing?
I don't know either.
On public access.
All right, our final contestant on the show.
The golf clap.
I'd like to introduce, she's the sexiest woman in metal.
Oh,
Aside
no.
from Karen Crisis, the skankiest woman alive.
Oh, no.
Oh,
From the mighty.
Oh,
Metal
that's
Injection.
a very dated. That's a very bad.
Noah's, of course, a clear underdog. Noah, give us that growl that we know
And
you.
Noah doesn't even respond to
You mean
being
that power
called
metal
skanky
growl,
at
right?
all.
Sure. Give it to us.
All right.
That's a real burp or no?
Well, I think everybody knows who the undisputed winner is. It's Noah from Metal Injection. No, maybe next week.
What a
Wait,
crude
wait.
show this is.
We
They
gotta
were
get
saying
the
it to Rob, though.
prize, which is right here in my pocket.
Wait, don't
Oh my
worry.
God.
Oh, no.
Oh my God! I was so skinny.
Okay,
You're ripped.
Never mind
What the fuck
prize.
is that?
Yeah,
What, a
me.
six-pack on
I
Robert?
must have had-
Young Robert?
I had ridiculous body. Like I thought I was fat during this time. Like I can't believe the body dysmorphia I had.
Gotta get to the prize, which is right here in my
Holy
pocket.
cow!
Look at that. Pause it.
Look at that.
Yeah, you got
I
indentations.
mean, I have a bit of a gut, but yeah, like no, I could if I. This is with zero gym at all. Like if I like did anything. Oh my
had a-
goodness!
Did
What
you
kind of body
Photoshop Ron Jeremy's belly button onto your nipple? What's going on up there?
Oh,
That's what it looks like.
this isn't even a 2004 camera. This is like a 1998 camera. Like you cannot trust anything we're looking at here. Okay,
Rob, you're also.
so like I said, you can't trust anything you're looking at.
I don't
here.
trust you. You're doing sort of like a half game show host, half Christopher Walken impression in this thing too. I love that with the
Yeah.
voices you used to do. We are doing a growl off. We're doing a growl off today. Noah, let me see your titties.
Rob didn't say that part.
I didn't say this. I didn't say
I know.
this. JSC says this was filmed on a potato. It really was. It was filmed on like I believe it was one of those tapes that you had to. There was like a tiny tape that you put in a VHS tape. Like I think 8. It was at 8, not 8 millimeter, 5 millimeter. I forget what it's called, but That was maybe the fourth episode we ever did, third or fourth episode of Metal Injection we ever did. That was a very, very early 2004, maybe even late 2003.
Can I also add something about Eddie from Fecal Corpse? Wasn't there
Mhm.
another episode where he went to some club and some show
Yes.
was going on, and he went around like doing sort of a bit where it was like Man in the Street, like sort of like Triumph
Mhm.
Little Comic Dog or whatever, just talking to people.
Yes.
And trying to be funny, but all he was doing was going up to like 15-year-old girls and like kind of hitting on them. I thought
no.
Asking them to give him a blowjob. Like,
Yeah.
who's going
Oh.
to give him a blowjob?
that was the bit,
And the bit ends with somebody giving him a blowjob.
like simulated.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Simulated. Yeah. Like,
POV.
we're not
She just
showing.
put her head down, but you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't
like
really
in a
do
goof.
it.
Like the girl in that Ron Jeremy photo.
And I feel like this was already when I was kind of not even like caring about school. Like I was like right about to drop out, and I'm pretty sure I submitted that video as like a TV project to one of my professors. Which, like, what an idiot I was! Unbelievable.
Well,
like I thought this was like, and on top of that, this woman was a
The professor
like,
was a woman?
It was a woman who was a Dominican immigrant and a lesbian, an out lesbian. So you can only imagine how much she must have loved watching this.
You're talking about me burning Chuck Schuldiner. Oh my God, you're way worse than me.
I did not pass the class.
Wow.
I got no credit for the class.
I was gonna say, like, but on the other hand, if you're dropping out of school anyway, who cares? Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah,
why are you an idiot if you didn't care? You're an idiot if you cared about the class.
I'm an idiot that I even submitted that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
If you expected a good grade and submitted that, yes, you're an idiot. If you don't give a shit,
yeah, I didn't give a shit.
Who cares?
Yeah, I guess I didn't give a shit.
I think I actually had that professor for a class too. She was a very serious person. She did not.
Yes.
She would not. I remember there was one class that got completely derailed because we were talking about like what is art, like the meaning of art and things in the world that are art. And some students said that Michael Jordan, the way he plays basketball, is art. This was like in Michael Jordan's heyday. This is probably late 90s, whatever. And she was not having it. She refused to accept that sports could be art. And it like derailed the whole class because neither the student nor the teacher would let it fucking go. And that was just the rest of the class, just them arguing about if Michael Jordan dunking was art. It was so fucking stupid.
And I know that for a fact that if Rob was in that class, he would have brought up pro wrestling as art.
Miss, you haven't seen RVD though. Like seriously, like just watch this match.
But here
I have Hayabusa, Miss.
But here luckily I have his website on my proto cell phone here in 1997. You can look at his matches. We gotta have to wait 3.5 hours for 1 minute of it to load, and then we can watch it.
And it's just a video of a guy asking 15-year-old girls if they blow RVD. Rob just wouldn't let that go.
But to be fair, that's what Rob Van Dam requested to be on his website. So.
Well,
he's like, "Hey man, can we recreate that video? It was great. That metal injection video, I loved it. Let's do one."
It was like
that
time. That was like when Dave Grohl stopped Rob because he recognized him. RVD stopped him. He's like, "You're the guy that filmed that video of the dude asking girls to blow him, right? I've shown that to all my friends.
I just
watch that backstage all the time. We love it."
Me and Roadkill. I just got a vision of Rob at the barbecue with Dave Grohl, and Dave Grohl comes up to him and says, "Hey, I recognized you from blah blah blah, but it was the Metal Injection Growl Off or whatever." Imagine he was that. What would you? I mean, imagine if Dave Grohl said that to you, that he was so into your work that he watched your public access shit or the Moscow.
Yeah, I would have been blown away. Yeah. EP Zeroni 09. EP Zeroni.
Is he a fucking extra on The Sopranos?
I'm still on LA time. I don't know where I am. He asked if you had to choose Meshuggah or Dream Theater. This is a very easy choice for me personally, because I never really got into Dream Theater, specifically because I do not like James LaBrie's vocals.
Yeah.
And Meshuggah is one of my all-times. They're like maybe my third favorite band of all time. Third or fourth, I would say, somewhere around there. Very high up. So easy peasy Meshuggah. I saw Meshuggah earlier this year.
Easy peasy is also not how you pronounce his username, Rob. Come on.
And so yeah, I love Meshuggah.
Look, he's dunking on you. How you said his username.
Zeroni. Look.
That's
I'll
the-
admit,
It's
I'm a
pretty
little
tough. He's gonna
dyslexic.
fuck you up, Rob.
That's the name of the cocktail he had at his LA brunch today before he flew in.
A nice EP Zeroni.
A nice CP Zeroni.
No. Also, I got to give a big shout out to the Hampton Inn where I stayed.
What? You doing live reads for hotels now?
No, I'm not doing a live read for the hotel. I'm doing a live read for the incredible staff at that hotel. Like, to the point that I'm going to leave a review.
Name one of them.
What? No.
It's such an opportunity to just say like Fred. It was a really
Maria.
Nice, you could have easily. Oh, of course, Maria. Nice job.
Yeah, of course, Maria. Yes, of course. It's LA.
Oh, for
Every one of them was named Hey You.
Hey, I didn't interact with them. That's the thing. They were so good. So the breakfast buffet, like not every hotel, but when you get to if you're above a 2-star hotel, if you're not staying at like an inn, they'll be like, oh, we got breakfast, and it could range from some muffins and coffee to what the Hampton Inn had. So they would have fresh eggs every day. I stayed there 3 days. Each day there was a different meat. One day it was a sausage patty. One day it was bacon, and one day it was like sliced Polish sausage, which was genuinely like really good. And I like every day I was like, I'm just gonna go down and get a coffee and maybe like a yogurt or something, and then eat later. But then everything looked so good that I ended up having a full meal. And they have a waffle maker there, and they're always on top of like refilling everything. I was just very impressed. I've had some bad hotel breakfast experiences, so I'm very impressed with their effort here. Can I say that? Is that so wrong? What?
From waffles to pancakes we go. For the listeners, we're just looking at Ron Jeremy again. Oh my God.
Uh,
I just want the meat.
but yeah, I did get a Tesla. So I just rented a compact car. I got the cheapest. Quick Man comment says, I just lost my appetite.
By the way, before we move on, I just love that the way Rob ranks a staff of a hotel is by how little they interact with.
Yeah, they stayed away from me.
That's not why it's good. No, I was impressed with how they constantly kept up and shit. Kept it going.
But all you've mentioned is the breakfast buffet.
Well, they were the ones they were cooking it and stuff, like there was a whole staff there maintaining it and it was so, like a woman would come out and like clean the counter. Like they were on top of their shit. It was a well-run operation.
EP Zeroni thinks our video is going to get demonetized, Rob.
Why is that? Because you called the staff person Maria?
Or because of Ron Jeremy's.
Well, that's
Maria in that photo.
The last one escaped. Any censure.
True.
You couldn't have put more Ron Jeremy into that one. If Alyssa was like 3 straight hours of Ron Jeremy's nipple and belly button.
So yeah, I did rent a Tesla. Not intentionally. I didn't have the intention of doing it. I just, rented the cheapest compact car rental, and it was at a Hertz. And the guy was just like, "Hey, yeah, just go wait on that line, and they'll give you a car." You just wait on a line, and then they kept just hauling in cars, like bringing in like a whatever, a Toyota, a Mazda, blah blah blah. And then there was this family ahead of me, and they wanted an SUV, so they kept waiting for an SUV to come by. And then the guy's like, "Does anybody want a Tesla?" And at first I was like, "Nah, I don't want to deal." Like the reason I didn't want one, besides I despise Elon Musk now, is I was just worried about charging it, because
you don't want it to drive off a bridge by itself.
You don't want to drive. Well, I wouldn't. The only way I would drive off a bridge off, I wouldn't turn the autopilot on. I would not trust it at all.
Well, I was just joking, but I have heard that it has turned itself on while the people were driving.
I can believe it because the software is not fresh. Yeah. So at first I thought against it. Then I'm like, when am I ever going to have another opportunity to fucking drive a Tesla? Why not? Just go for it. So I got it. And immediately, like, this isn't a car. It's a gadget. You're traveling in an iPhone.
Okay.
Not Apple. And so I to be fair, like my review that I'm about to give is for the base model of the cheapest Tesla. It's the Model 3, which is like the entry level Tesla that they're trying to get like the everyday consumer to buy. It's like 35 grand or something like that as the base model. So it doesn't have any of the bells and whistles. One of the cameras was busted, so I couldn't even do the autopilot.
Oh.
Because the whole thing is it has cameras all around the car to be able to detect when to do lane changes and stuff. And so, and also it took me 20 minutes to even like get out of the parking lot just to figure out how to use the car. So there was a big learning curve. They don't like, it's such a, also what I don't like about it is it feels like a startup. Like it feels like a disrupt culture kind of thing, because I feel every car that I've been in, the speedometer is there. This is there. Everything is different in a Tesla. Everything is within this. There's a giant iPad, and that's the only console you have. Like there's nothing behind the steering wheel to indicate your speed or, how fast you're going, or not how fast you're accelerating. Nothing like that. It's all in the like giant iPad in the middle. And also it's kind of weird with like the controls, like if you want to turn your lights on or the heat or whatever. And the thing is, this car is absolutely just made for speeding. What I did like about it is the acceleration and the de-acceleration. It was very, very fun to drive. It was a very smooth drive. It felt very much like driving a car, like a BMW, like same kind of very easy kind of drive. And I actually did speed ridiculously on the highway late at night. Like I went over 100 without even doing it, to the point that I got pulled over.
Yeah.
Which, let me
the guy
tell
says,
you,
did you know how fast you're going? No, I can't read this fucking thing. I don't know. I have no idea.
That is what I said. And that's what got me out of a ticket, I think.
Oh,
because if I admitted how fast I was going, I'm admitting guilt. So then boom, that's it. It's
thanks,
over.
Elon Musk.
Clever.
It's in the next Twitter files. How to get
Well,
out of
I was like, oh, they were like, do you know how fast you were going? And I was like, oh, no, I don't. She's like, oh, we clocked you at 105.
Jesus Christ.
And I swear,
go ahead.
It felt like I was going like 75.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
I'm not, it was a completely empty highway too. This was LA at like midnight or 1 a.m, And so go ahead, Darren. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, were you consciously trying to speed, or did you just lose
yes.
track?
Yeah. Like I was just like, oh, let me see what this could do. And I put it into like sport mode. I was being a dipshit. Like right. I was actively being a dipshit.
Were you under the influence of marijuana?
No. No.
Wait, so what?
He was under the influence of 8 drugs, but not that.
Yeah, I was not under the influence of anything. The reason I was thinking about this is because I was so relieved that I didn't smoke, because if I did and I got pulled over, it would have been a nightmare. Yeah. It would have been. So the thing is, here was the one mistake that I made. She asked me, do you know how fast you're going? I do not know how fast I was going. I explained that I'm just traveling from New York. I must have gotten carried away. I've never had a Tesla. I've never even been on an open road like this. I'm used to New York traffic. I didn't realize how fast I was going.
I've never been on an open road.
Shut up!
How hard did her eyes roll?
She was like, no, yeah, I understand. It is kind of, because I don't know, whatever. She sympathized, bless her heart.
Here in Los Angeles, where there's famously no traffic whatsoever.
At this time of night, there isn't.
I know.
So my mistake was, she goes, "Have you had anything to drink?" I should have just said no. And honestly, I actually was responding honestly. I was like, I had one beer. She was like, all right, well, because you said you drank, we now have to go through every fucking test to prove that you are sober enough to drive. And this was the most torturous fucking thing, because now I'm like getting anxious and I'm like, Rob, calm down. You don't want to be so anxious that she's going to think you're drunk, which is only getting me more anxious.
You might fail the test and you didn't even get the joy of drinking and getting fucked up.
Right. And like, she first did the thing where she flashes the light bulb in my and like follow my pen, which was a whole fucking, like, she went the distance with it. And I was being as polite as possible, but I'm just like, come on, like, what more do I have to fucking do? Like, she had me lift one leg for like 30 seconds, put it down, lift the other. And at one point I'm like, I'm not drunk, but I don't have the endurance for this. like what do you like this? Like, I'm, like, calm, like, leave me alone.
But you were also clearly in the wrong and could have been given a ticket. So shouldn't you just
absolutely?
Be
I'm not.
This is all she's
to be
making
clear.
you?
To be clear, this was all like I did not externalize these feelings at all. I was being polite and like, well, yes, whatever you need, absolutely, totally. I'm sorry, yada yada. But like, I'm like, let's go. And then she was like, all right, well. I thought I was going to get a ticket. I think that's where my anxiety was, getting an out-of-state speeding ticket, because I just assumed my insurance would skyrocket. They didn't even give me a fucking ticket. My white privilege saved me again.
That's exactly right.
My white.
She was just like, just make sure you go home. Go right home and don't do it. I'm like, that's exactly where I was going. Like, I was just heading home from a concert. And then so this was the last night I was there. And so I had to charge my car, because the car battery was at like under 20%. And that's when they recommend you charge it. Now here's what I learned about charging. With a regular traditional gas vehicle, when you're out of gas, go to the gas pump some gas, full tank again. Takes about 5 minutes, right?
Sure.
5 minutes to give a full charge. For an electric vehicle, to get it fully charged requires 8 hours. It requires at minimum, you need to charge it for like 1 hour to get like a good amount of juice to get like 100 miles or something like that. I didn't know that. I feel like this is the kind of flaw of an all-electric vehicle, in the sense of you can only have one of these if you have a house or some sort of parking situation where you can just charge it every night.
Or that's like way more convenient that way. Yeah.
Well, the real flaw is that there aren't charging stations everywhere, because then you could fill up for like 10 minutes and get enough to get to somewhere that has another charging station if you need it.
So here's the thing. Now it's like 1:32 in the morning. And I'm already like,
open up Grindr and search by who has a charging station.
By Tesla.
Can you do that? Is that an option? You go get laid, and while you're getting laid, the car charges at this person's house.
Trade dick for energy.
Yeah.
Well, in the Tesla navigation system, you can search to find where there's a charger.
Okay.
So it pointed me to one thing, which was like a few blocks. So first I go to my hotel, and then I'm like, all right, I want to find a close one so I could just walk back to my hotel. And I found one. It wasn't working. I go to like another lot. I don't even see a charger. Finally, I find this parking lot that has a ton of chargers. And so I go to one charger. There's two different brands of chargers. I go to one charger. I have to sign up for an app. It's like a whole thing, like a parking app, essentially. You have to put in your credit card, yada, yada.
How much is it?
I'm all signed up. Well, the good thing I will say is a full charge costs about $10, which
okay.
In LA, the gas prices were like $6 a gallon. It should have been like to fill up a gallon to fill up a car, it would be like $50-$60,
Yeah.
you know, so you do save a ton of money. And so I go and I'm ready and I open the charging thing in my car, which took forever to figure out how to do. And then I go to put the charger in and it's a completely different plug. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You got an
What's going
Android
on here?
Tesla.
Yeah.
What's going on? So then I go to the other models and I go and it's a different plug, but still not the plug that I need. And I'm like, what the fuck? And now it is 2 a.m. I'm like, this is post getting pulled over. I'm fucking tired. And I'm like, what is going? I'm like searching on my Tesla. I'm looking up YouTube instructionals on how to like charge the car. Long story short, I go to the parking attendant and I'm like, do you have actual Tesla chargers here? And he's like, yeah, they're Tesla chargers. I'm like, oh, they don't plug in. And by my stroke of luck, the person who was pulling out to pay his ticket was in a Tesla. And he told me that I need a converter. Where the fuck am I going to get a converter?
Was there one like in the
Well,
glove box and you didn't realize?
There was one in the front trunk, which I was just like, all right, maybe, I mean, like there has to be one here, right? Like
Yeah.
it seems like this is, so I learned that there is no standard in electric vehicle charging, which seems fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
How do these companies have different charge? Like, how do you not standardize this thing that like, imagine if like your gas tank had different fucking holes that you had to put in, you had to go in your trunk and put it like, what the fuck? This is the dumbest thing I've ever, like, once I got it going, like I was like, oh, I'm so relieved, but this is such bad user experience. Like the worst user experience.
Yeah.
JSC 315 says that's mostly a Tesla problem. I can totally see that because that's the other thing I don't like about it. Everything about their software is proprietary. You can't do CarPlay. You can't do, everything has to be the Tesla thing. And their shit isn't that good. Also, the car felt a little cheap.
Oh.
Like the doorknobs feel really flimsy. And like everything has the appearance of like chic, but it's like 99 cents chic, you know? Like
That's about right.
So in conclusion, I will say I like the idea of an electric vehicle. I would not get a Tesla. I would consider getting an electric vehicle from an actual car maker that has fucking years of experience making cars and isn't just making a toy. Like that's what it kind of felt like, a toy. It didn't feel like a real car, but it was sleek. It was comfortable. The seats were great, yada, yada, but it wasn't a car. I want to try like the Ford electric car or you know, all these newer ones, because I do think it's really cool. And figure out this charging situation. Jesus fucking Christ.
Everybody in the chat seems to think that's only a Tesla issue.
I see. There's 2 people saying it's a Tesla problem.
Yeah.
JSC and T-Tam. Say everyone, but right. Okay, I can believe that because the charging stations, one of them even had 2 separate chargers, neither of which fit the Tesla.
I'd like to know what EP Zeroni thinks about the charger situation. Before I
Yes,
lock
EP
in how I
Zeroni.
feel, I need his take.
I think EP Zeroni bounced. He seemed to think that, or they, I don't know if it was a he, but that this was like a metal show.
Yeah, he was
He was asking
asking
metal
way too
questions.
specific questions.
Did you guys see this album that I just listened to?
Maybe he's
No.
in glass casket. They're getting
Oh.
back together, Rob. Did you see that? Are you excited?
I did. I'm actually very excited to hear what's going on, and most of the band is back too. So, yeah, I hope it's good. And Cynic was very good too. By the way, I didn't actually talk about it, but they played their first album, Focus, from beginning to end, because it's the 30th anniversary of the album. So that was really, really cool to see.
Damn.
Wasn't that by Hocus Pocus? That Focus? That too
No.
dated of a reference?
It might
Good
be.
song.
That's the one that goes, yodel, 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 the yodeling thing, right?
Mm.
Oh, oh.
Sounds right, I think.
Also,
Listen-
Darren, I listened to a lot of 808 State while I was out there.
Oh, I'm
So,
glad I could
thank you
recommend
for
that
that.
for you. even though I had never heard a single song of theirs.
It's so good. It's so good.
I knew from the
Great
genre
house
of what it
music.
was that you'd like it.
Mm-hmm,
I think you'll love my choice today too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I previewed it before the show. Fun little ditty. We'll talk about it in a bit.
It's relevant to our
But
frequent show topics.
we can talk about some metal news.
Oh, cool.
And that is that Pantera's Phil Anselmo fucked around, and now he has found out. And so Pantera has been pulled from 2 German festivals, Rock am Ring and Rock im Park.
What did that old scamp do now?
Oh, you know, what happened was a bunch of people were like, hey, this guy fucking threw up a Zig Heil and shouted
Again?
white power.
No, it's
No,
just
no,
from
no.
that time.
Years ago,
Oh,
from years ago, like the
right.
incident at the Dime Bash. And these festivals are in Germany. And Germany now,
A little sensitive.
after the Second World War, believe it or not, they have very, very strict anti-white nationalist laws.
But like, my point is, is it just based on people associating him with that, or are they scared he's going to do it again? Like, we cannot take the chance.
Yeah, it might be both.
Here's the thing.
Vienna also did Austria.
Yes. So
cancel the
after
show?
these 2 were the first, and then Vienna also dropped them.
Yeah.
And so here's what Blabbermouth wrote. Most of the backlash stemmed over the fact that Anselmo made Nazi-style salute while he performed at the 2016 Dime Bash. It's crazy how much time has passed. That it's already now 7 years.
It feels like longer to me.
I don't know. Let's see. He also appeared to say he said white power as he made the gesture, but later claimed he was joking about drinking white wine backstage and was reacting to the audience members in the front who he says were taunting him. Right. I forgot that he gave first he gave the thing like, oh, it was a joke about white wine. And then he said like, oh, there were people in the front that were like mocking me, and so that I gave them exactly what they wanted, which is like, what?
Yeah.
So there was additional criticism with regard to the fact that Rock am Ring takes place in Nuremberg, where Hitler supporters held a series of mass Nazi party rallies between 1933 and 1938. So they were like, hey, maybe cancel Pantera's appearance at the festivals. The German Green Party said in the Nuremberg City Council that Anselmo repeatedly and deliberately made Nazi gestures and yelled racist slogans. This is fact. A spokesman.
Man, it was just a party. It's a Nazi party. It's right there in the name, man. Be fair. Come on.
Spokeswoman for the Greens Against Racism and Right-Wing Extremism added that the former Nazi party premises were being deliberately misused for staging and reproduction of racist and inhuman ideology.
Well,
you know what? I think this is a little stretching it, but don't
whatever.
fucking do a Nazi salute. Yeah.
Not a hill I want to die on.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. So they asked them to reconsider the invitation, and so they did. I think, look, this is gonna happen. And what's so interesting is, first of all, when this story came out, I was so glad that I'm no longer doing day-to-day news posts, because this would have just been so fucking annoying, dealing with these dumbass fucking commenters. I saw some, I don't know if it was on Twitter, I saw this one comment oh yeah, Germans should really be talking about this kind of stuff. It's like, what?
That's the point.
That's
They
the point.
should be
Yeah,
talking
yes, they
about
should
it.
be. Yeah,
By stopping it.
Who are it was who are Germans to talk? There's some of the racist people all the time. Yes, exactly. That's why they're trying to move away from this.
Yeah. I thought there'd be Pantera fans in the comments blaming you for this because of the signal boost that you gave to this story when it first happened.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the comments on.
So on
what
my
are
old
stomping grounds?
That person who says, Germans have no place to talk. Like, what do they think the German people are saying? Like, our Nazis are better than your Nazis? Like, what are they? What is their argument?
So here's some comments. Here's some dumb
Oh,
comments.
I can't wait.
They miss
I
the
hope-
old Nazis.
I hope I have some supporters in here. People used to love me so much.
He goes, cancel. Oh, this is from Alan Lingus.
Oh, I get it. It's an anagram.
Cancel culture, the woke hive mind, and NPCs are very real. It is now woke hive mind to be anti-Nazi. And the NPCs, of course, we've discussed, non-playable characters.
Correct.
Are very real. I know it's hard to believe, but you can like a band and not condone everything that each band member has done in the past. And then somebody responds sarcastically, then how am I going to display my performative outrage and signal to the other NPCs that I'm one of them? It's so funny to me that they're talking about NPCs being performative when this is all performative. Like they are doing exactly what they're accusing the woke hive mind of doing.
I know a way you can show. Just go on a stage and put your hand up in the goose step signal.
And say, what, bah?
Well, expect this shitty festival to drop half their attendance. Looks like they were the only good band on the bill.
Is that true?
Weren't they replaced by the Foo Fighters?
Yeah, I think they're saying this because they were the only metal band on the bill. Rock and Ring is like a very mainstream, mainstream rock kind of festival. Like the other band, Kings of Leon, Tenacious D, like bands like that. Evanescence, Incubus, Papa Roach, Rise Against, Limp Bizkit. So it's
the funny thing is, like, you'd think in a situation like this that like other bands would try to stand up for Pantera. It's like, no, this is censorship. If you're gonna kick them off for something like this, we're not gonna play either. But like, doesn't seem like there's any of that, right?
Which one of those bands? Limp Bizkit? They need the money.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, fair.
By the way, NPC stands for No Pantera Concert.
Rob, get in the comments and reply with that. Make a fake username. That's too good.
Oh, here's a good one. German Greens.
Oh, no.
Destabilizing Germans' life for Kremlin's money for decades.
Oh, okay.
What?
I don't
this
even
is the
get
Kremlin.
that one.
This is the acting of the Kremlin.
Oh, the Russians are doing
the Green
this?
Party. The Green Party in Germany are just working for the Kremlin, he's saying.
And they don't like Pantera? The Kremlin
the Green Party rep. Yes.
It warms my heart that
go ahead,
incoherence of comment sections transcends country.
Yes,
like they all have their own wacky idiots.
Well, these are American comments.
Well, he was talking about Germany's parties. I figured it was a German guy. Like, who the fuck knows that over here?
Here's what. So there's I want to be clear. There are anti-Pantera comments as well. Like, did any of you read the statement? Blah blah blah. And then somebody writes, band who used racist imagery for years, shocked that fans might indeed be racist. Now look for the boomer mental gymnastics to justify said racism. And wouldn't you know it, here's some mental gymnastics.
They're just limbering up now, getting ready for the pommel
Here we
horse.
go. He goes, ha ha, coming from Germany, it's funny because while they act woke, they actually have a domestic policy that is corrupt in Russian and horrifying relationships with other leaders such as Belarus and some African dictatorships. Almost hooked us into a third world war in Ukraine because this time they won't defend their own continent. But I guess they can take the moral high ground on a rock concert. What are you talking about? Like the person deciding about the Ukraine war is also deciding if Pantera is playing?
Yes, there's one person in Germany and they do everything.
Angela Metal. That's her name.
She replaced Julia when she stopped being a VJ. Angela Metal. It was her and a Metal Sanaz.
Did you see her in LA, Rob?
I did not. It's been a while since I've seen her, but I feel like there was like a NAMM or something, like the last NAMM I went to, I saw her.
How's she doing?
It's fine. I don't know.
Looking good still?
She looks the same. You know, she hasn't.
Damn, that's 20 years ago.
Lips are a little plumper. You know,
Which
with
lips?
the LA look.
Oh no!
Oh, I only saw one
She
set.
got an infection.
You didn't look at her face at all?
Ah!
I figured maybe you give her a little tonguey to get your Tesla charged. First person you called.
Oh, she's on Instagram. Let's see.
You should follow her.
No.
It'll make her day.
Well, let's see. Like, you guys tell me. We're now
Oh,
playing
boy.
what used to be Noah's favorite game. Let's judge a woman.
Sure. Well, you could do it politely.
I honestly don't remember what Metal Sanaz used to look like. So
She was hot.
She was a Iranian.
she probably still is Iranian.
She's
Right. Still is Iranian. That's a good point. Here we go. I was looking for the Ron Jeremy thing, but I'll spare you. He was actually-
Well, she doesn't look the same at all as I remember. I thought she was darker than that.
This is an extremely important message, so do not pass.
Okay, I don't want to make. She's doing about the Iranian.
Right.
Well, that.
But what if they're all about that? Is there any messages saying how she's a wokester?
Oh, that's a good. I guess that's her kind of deal right now is to do the Iranians. But hey, I think that's actually pretty commendable.
Okay, good for her. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about her. She was cool.
Yeah, I think she looks basically how she's looked.
Yes.
She's
I
maintained.
honestly remembered her being darker skinned, I thought.
Here's an older photo just for comparison.
Maybe she just wore a certain kind of makeup or whatever.
I think also her hair used to be darker.
Yeah, that might be an optical illusion.
Like it wasn't as blonde. Yeah.
Is there a picture of Dave Mustaine?
Yeah.
No, there's multiple pictures of Dave Mustaine.
Just have a little fling with him or something?
What is going on? Yeah, he looks
So
like
many
he
years-
just finished
Yeah.
something. He's like he
Looks
just
like
finished.
He cracked off a nut. Just now.
Yeah. His face.
Oh, there's Phil.
Oh.
Oh no.
Maybe they were drinking some white wine.
Her face is like he just said white power right in her ear.
What? You're like, what?
You know I'm Iranian, right? I know I'm light skinned, but
He just
fuck.
meant the streak in her hair. That's all. It was.
Yeah. Oh dear. He looks like he's using her to prop himself up, by the way. Who's that?
Sure. But yeah.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes
no.
Muffler said she's Iranian and she's in a hurry. That's an insider joke for this podcast. Go back in the archives. You're sure to find it.
Yeah. So also, I guess the other story is that did you see that there is security footage from the Paul Pelosi hammer invasion?
Yes, I did.
It's pretty wild, I have to say.
It's very graphic, but I also did see like a lot of warnings that said this is super graphic. Like, don't let little
I don't
kids
think
see
it's-
this. And it wasn't. It kind of hyped it up a little too much. Like, it wasn't. You do see a guy swinging a hammer, but like you never see.
Yeah, you don't see it.
contact.
Should we play it?
If you want, go ahead.
Yeah,
Your show, man.
Yeah, let's play.
It's your show.
All
Wait a
right.
minute.
All right, here it is.
Oh, that's too far.
That is too graphic. I was wrong. This is a different angle than I saw. Oh.
How you doing? What's going on, man?
What's going on? By the way, he's holding a hammer right here. You see it? He's holding the hammer. And so for our audio listeners, this is like a body cam from the cop, and we're looking at the Pelosi's front door, and you see Paul Pelosi dressed in what looks like either a button down or some sort of shirt and either short shorts or boxers. It's unclear. And then he is being held by the hand by this invader. And the invader is like smiling and in a good mood. And so with that said, the first thing the cops say are, "Hey, what's going on?" Which doesn't seem like something you say when somebody is like, under duress and being kidnapped. Like, what's going on here, guys?
Well, they were probably trying to like de-escalate because like you
That's
say the
fair.
wrong thing and shit might pop off, and it
Well,
did anyway.
Cops are known for de-escalating.
Well, it's all white
violence.
people here, so clearly they're on their best behavior, and it's a rich
What's going
person's
on, man?
house.
Everything's good.
Yeah, we're all just hanging out. No.
Oh, they
Drop the
found-
hammer.
Nope.
Hey. What is going on right
I'm
now?
not getting an answer on call.
Bro, oh shit.
Really hammered him. And that's really it. Then they I love the cop going, "Oh shit, like what did you think was gonna happen?"
Wait, a thing is happening.
Oh, shit,
right.
I
I'm
gotta do my
supposed to
job.
stop that. Oh, fuck. All right. Let's go. Put the hammer down. He just goes, no. And then they just stand there. What?
So then I guess the story that came out this week was that Nancy Pelosi, his wife, Paul Pelosi's wife,
His
and fellow
wife.
inside stock trader,
Yeah.
had priests come over and perform an exorcism on the house after her husband was attacked. When Darren sent us the story, I was like, is this like an Onion article? Like this sounds like something silly, but no.
Or like Newsmax, where they just took a little thing and exaggerated it.
Right.
But Newsmax, I
No.
feel like this would be a positive Pelosi story for their readers.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
viewers,
This is
I
from
guess.
a interview with Nancy Pelosi, like a feature with Nancy
With her
Pelosi.
daughter.
And her daughter says, she goes, she said, Nancy Pelosi had, this little blurb reads, Nancy Pelosi had priests perform an exorcism on her house in the wake of the brutal attack that left her husband, Paul, hospitalized.
This is who's in charge of our country.
Yes.
I mean, it's an
Right.
extremely old Catholic woman. This is what they do.
Her daughter told the New York Times, I think that weighed really heavy on her soul. I think she felt really guilty. I think that really broke her. Pelosi's daughter.
Imagine how her
Alexander
husband's skull felt.
Yeah.
If it really broke her, she wasn't even there.
Fuck him!
Yeah, what about
My
me?
soul!
The sympathy pains are sometimes worse than the actual cracked skull pains.
Fuck Paul's skull.
The brain bleed.
We were always worried, says Alexandria. It's like our worst fear coming to life. Although Pelosi didn't speak on the exorcism herself, she said she found it unimaginable that in the aftermath of the attack, Republicans mocked the attack and spread baseless conspiracies while her husband was in serious condition.
Yeah, who would have
This has been
expected
tough.
such a thing?
Yeah. When has that ever happened in
They
politics?
said he was hit with a claw hammer when clearly it was a ball peen hammer. I think they're just prepping it for like when she gets indicted, they're gonna just blame it on the ghost. I think that's what that's what this whole exorcism is for.
Well, if there are evil spirits, I think maybe we should perform an exorcism too, to get all the Pelosi evil spirits out of the live cast. Maybe.
What do you think there's some in your apartment, Rob?
Well, I haven't been here in a few days. There might be.
No.
I tell you, we can't join hands or anything, but maybe we should do like a virtual type of seance or something, so we can.
Yeah, let's try a little bit of a seance.
Maybe we can contact the guy that haunted, or anyone else who happens to be in the spirit world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get it. Let's get a mood going.
Ooh, that's nice.
And then, are you there? Are you there? Hello? Hello?
Oh, they're gonna go away, Rob, if you do it like that.
All right. If there are any ghosts out among us, please show your face. Show yourself to RIP a livecast. Live! Live more than you lived before. Are you there? I think
I'm feeling
I
something.
feel something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
It might just be gas. I had a preview before the show started, so I can't really verify. But the music is very spooky, at the very least.
All right. I think I may have entered the mainframe.
Oh,
Live in heaven.
Boo! How do you like my
Oh my
scary ghost haunting? I'm just getting a hang of it. Boo!
Wait a minute.
Boo!
Have
Boo!
we summoned the spirit? Is this Durinsky guy?
It's Durinsky guy. Let me tell you
Oh my
something.
God.
I miss the hell out of you guys. But you know who I really miss? I don't see him on the screen there. Durinsky. Where's my little Jew boy Buttercup?
Yeah, Durinsky's a bit of an atheist. He didn't want anything to do with the seance. Nothing to do with the exorcism. Now, Durinsky guy, we haven't talked about you in a few years. You used to play poker with Darren back when you were alive. You're now dead. And you had a
I'm in
crush on him.
between worlds right now is the proper terminology.
You're in limbo.
Yes.
You're in
Don't
limbo.
be
Patrick Swayze there?
Don't be an anti-wokester, Rob. I'm between worlds. Between dimensions. No, I did not see Patrick Swayze, but there is a lot of man meat here. Steve McQueen, wow, what a prime rib of a man. I love him. Great actor. James Dean, got an adorable little tush. Let's see, who else is Muammar Gaddafi.
What?
Great
What?
bit of
He's
hair,
there?
looks amazing in sunglasses. Oh yeah, all the dictators are up here. I just gave a handy to Paul Pot.
Wait, in heaven? The dictators are in heaven? Are you sure you're in heaven?
Yeah, the Lord is very forgiving. He does here. You do a couple of mass murders. What's the big deal? You know, you look.
Wow.
What does that mean in the cosmic scale of things? You know what I'm telling you? But listen, I really want to talk to Durinsky. I want him to clap my cheeks like he's clapping for Tinkerbell to survive. Where's he hanging out? Get him back in the room.
If Durinsky was here, what would you say to him?
I would say, Durinsky, you are one handsome living human being. And I wish you were touching my ex-human being.
Durinsky guy, I
your
don't know.
human being?
My bean, yeah, touch the bean in the back.
Flick the human being.
I tell you, I heard you guys talking about Nancy Pelosi. Wow, she got some great cans. You know, I don't swing that way, but if I did, I would be all up in those airbags. Holy moly. I would cover her with my ectoplasm.
So you wouldn't go with a girl? There's no bi tendencies in Durinsky guy?
You know, in a pinch maybe, but I'm in afterlife. I get to do whatever I want. I do actually have some unfinished business before I go into the spirit realm for good.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
It's to get with Durinsky. I gotta get back down to where, at least that's my cover anyways.
I don't know if you've heard, this has happened maybe since you passed away, but Durinsky's back on the market actually, so you might legitimately have a chance.
Oh my, you just made my day, Sid. Thank you so much. I'm wondering, let me ask you guys a question. Let me pose a little poser to you. If you go down to Earth as a ghost and you go and stand inside somebody's body, is that like scoring?
Are they naked?
Let's say they're naked.
Then yes.
All right, and I've been in there several times already.
Oh, no.
Did you get enthusiastic consent?
I did. I may have or may not have. What's the big deal? Let's not focus
my
on
goodness.
unimportant things. You know what I mean? It's different than real life sexual intercourse. You know
Does
what I mean?
consent exist in the afterlife, or is it
Well,
more
everybody.
of like...
You don't get
Go
to
ahead.
be around anyone who don't want to be around you. God has this whole filing system. It's very complicated. I don't totally understand it. And if you really want to boink somebody and they don't want to boink you, they make some kind of a cloney type thing, and you get to boink that person for eternity.
That's what
It's
I was
a lot of
thinking,
fun. You know, I'm
There's
starting
like...
to... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I
I was going to say it sounds like there's all these mini heaven, like each person gets their own mini heaven.
Each
and,
person's in a room forever, and they have all their sensory pleasures tickled like a prostate.
So, do you have any other want now that you've been so fulfilled? Like, what is left to want?
I could go for a good Schvuyadel, I'll tell you that. Maybe like a nice Leone's hero or something.
Ooh.
Oh,
We can make that happen, possibly.
maybe a
Really?
John's.
I might have to think about haunting South Brooklyn again. All right, my connection's fading. I'm gonna get back to it. Boo! I'm a ghost. Boo! Boo! Great talking to ya. Tell Durinsky I love his little cheeks. I love all ya. Love the Livecast fans, and I'll see you next time. Boo! Ah, cha, 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 cha.
Bye, Durinsky guy. We
All
love
right,
you.
bye, Durinsky guy. That was lovely. Oh, all right. And all right, that's our seance. What a wonderful man. We're so glad we were so glad that Nancy Pelosi inspired us to just have our own little seance and bring back such an important member of Livecast history.
R.I.P. this week stands for Rob is Pelosi.
Then we could look at her cans all day.
Can see Pelosi.
What happened with that seance? Did I miss anything?
Oh, Darren, you missed it. Durinsky guy. We brought him back, and he really
no.
wanted to be inside of you, and actually
That's
may
terrible.
have.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever felt it, but apparently.
You ever felt any like gust of wind or something, or like some shiver in your spine?
An invisible hand stroking the shaft of your penis.
I had really bad gas the other day, but I thought it was from White Castle. So
I
guess maybe it was him. You know what? Let him have fun.
Yeah.
I didn't. If I
Have
barely
his
noticed
fun.
it, he was a good guy. R.I.P. R.I.P. Also this week stands for R.I.P. For real. Rest in purgatory, because it doesn't sound like he's made it into heaven yet.
Well, he seemed happy wherever he was. He seemed like he was having a good time.
Yeah. All right, good for him.
Him and Muammar Gaddafi.
and Pol Pot.
Wait, how do you know he said that? I thought you weren't here.
I went back and listened to the playback.
You reviewed the tape.
Yes.
Ultimate professionalism.
See what else is going on in the world.
Is it just me or the guy who hammered Pelosi's husband's skull looks sort of like comedian TJ Miller?
I don't know who that looks like, but I thought he looked a little bit like Zach Galifianakis.
Similar strain of fat comedian.
Is TJ Miller the guy that was the amazing atheist? Because he looks like that guy.
I don't know who that is.
He's like some blogger that's like an atheist, but also very like out there and edgy, like on purpose to offend people.
TJ Miller is just like a standard stand-up comedian. He was on Silicon Valley. He was in the Cloverfield movie. He was in some Transformers movies, and then he got canceled for like sexually harassing women.
Let me see a picture.
I ran into him.
I see.
That's not TJ Miller.
That looks like him for sure.
That's also not Ron Jeremy's belly button. Congrats,
that
Ron.
was the actual guy. That's why it looked.
Yeah, this is TJ Miller.
I actually ran into him on like St. Mark's on Halloween last year. It was so random.
TJ Miller?
But yes, but I
David
didn't say anything.
Did he have a hat?
Yeah. I didn't say anything because it was like, who cares about TJ Miller anymore?
Yeah.
2 years before I would have cared. But yeah, here's David DePippe. This is the guy who
put up the Amazing Atheist. See if he looks like that guy too. I think he does. Well, the hair's different.
Okay, I could see it.
The facial hair's different, but same guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He looks sort of like chubby Kurt Cobain.
Yes, that's a good one.
There's Ron Jeremy.
David DePoop.
Oh, no similar search results. Weird.
Thank God. They really broke the mold when they made Ron Jeremy.
One of a kind.
Do they? You know, they sell like molds of like the rubber pussies of porn stars and cocks of porn stars. Do they sell Ron Jeremy's belly button?
I don't think so.
Can we
No.
get that? I'd purchase that. Make a necklace out of it, maybe.
Oh.
Like Flavor Flav's clock, but it's just Ron Jeremy's belly button around my neck.
Is there any legit like a female porn star whose body part you would like unironically wear a necklace?
No, that's why. That's weird. No,
if you had to wear one, who's
if I had to, it has to be a vagina.
Yes, let's say a vagina.
Huh?
What's the best vagina in porn history?
I don't know. They're all like snowflakes. There's
I
no
have
best
one.
or worst. Okay.
Well, that should And they should be able to rank them if they're all different. Christy Canyon is my favorite vagina.
Okay. See, that's not a thing I remember about her. The other features are so standout that I never really focused on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just probably the first porn star that I followed her career as opposed to just getting to see a random scene because I was a kid. And she was like perfect to me. I just loved like her little kind of not little, but her natural looking breasts and like perfectly she kept her pubic hair trimmed in a patented way, like it was consistently the same all the time. She had just a beautiful shaped vagina, lips. I'm giving you detail of why I found her attractive.
Yeah, look, hey.
And everything else too, like her face was beautiful. She had a wonderful demeanor, like very real sexual energy, didn't feel faked.
I can't disagree with any of it.
Hey, you laughing your ass off.
The seriousness and specificity cracked me up, but I can't disagree with any of it.
Well, I like to be serious and specific. Dusty Rhodes Muffler.
A serious topic.
Dusty says, do you prefer innie or outie vagina? I don't know what that means. If you could give me details, I'll tell you.
The lips, if they are tucked in or they sort of flop out.
Oh, I'd say maybe halfway on the scale of those two things. You know, a slight outie, maybe.
Rob,
I don't like when it's completely.
I like it all the way in. I don't want to see any of that.
What if it's out and it's hanging down 6 inches and has a mushroom tip?
We can talk.
I assume. Well, there are women with extremely large clits that sort of resemble a small penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. And there's also trans men, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I don't. I wouldn't say I'm a vagina connoisseur. That's a drop.
Fair. But do you like, so serious question though? Do you not maybe you don't find them attractive, but do you find vaginas aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah, like a nice tucked in vagina. It's aesthetically. It looks like a fresh apricot.
You know, the ones that I'm less attracted to, and this is not shaming, it's my preference. They don't look bad, but the ones that are more closed in, like they sort of, I guess that would be an innie, but they look kind of like a baseball mitt, I guess you would say. Like the lips are all internal. Again, not shaming it. If you have that vagina, it's just a preference. I don't mean that you look bad or anything. But I like the more open, flowery kind, like the Georgia O'Keeffe. You know,
Georgia O'Keeffe. How did we get on this topic?
Ron Jeremy's belly button. It always goes back to that. It's like the origin of it. It's like the Big Bang. It just creates everything.
How is there not on our Discord, which everybody should join? How is there not like an emoji of Ron Jeremy's belly button yet?
Do they have to? That's a good question. Do they have?
It doesn't really. Without the
like,
context of Ron Jeremy, it doesn't. You can't tell what it is.
Then get the whole thing in there, just like that.
Does a Discord? Does it say though? Just out of curiosity, does a Discord emoji have to be like safe? You know, vetted, or will they kick it off or ban your channel if you put a penis on there or something?
I mean, I've heard people talk about how they put porn on Discord servers. So if you could just straight up put porn, then I don't see how this would be.
Right, but you may have to designate it like 18 or over or something.
I think we should find out.
They're not naked.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes says, "Get an emoji of the painting." I think he means the painting on Ron Jeremy's wall.
I guess so.
Or a Georgia O'Keeffe painting that I just mentioned.
We could do both.
Would it be funny if Ron had a Georgia O'Keeffe painting on his wall there?
Do you think Ron ever fucked Georgia O'Keeffe? That's also possible.
They're in the same age window.
How old is Georgia? Is she still alive?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't want to.
Oh, she died in 1986.
No. Yeah,
so maybe.
Well, he was certainly alive and an adult in 1986.
She was born in 1887.
Do you think Ron is turning down a lot of sex?
No, definitely not. But
age-based discrimination.
I think he would have broken her.
Oh, maybe that's why she died. Maybe he was fucking her during the 7th game of the Mets World Series, and they got so excited that he cracked her in half.
He was pounding away on a 99-year-old woman. It's fucked up.
It's like fucking Daryl Strawberry. Did you see that?
He probably is a Mets fan, right?
I mean, he's a New Yorker. It's
He's from
definitely
Queens.
possible. Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I briefly went to his high school alma mater.
I suddenly question whether he's guilty now. No. Joking. Plenty of shitty people are Mets fans.
Yes. Chris Christie.
That's one for sure. Yeah. I can't think of any other ones right now.
There are definitely other ones, but I'm also Jim Brewer. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, Bill O'Reilly.
Yes.
He's a big Mets fan.
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, horrible person.
Does
Big
he
Mets
still
fan.
own a portion of the team? Because when the Wilpons were owners, he bought a minority stake.
No, what happened was like the Wilpons were like, I think 51 or 55% owners. They sold up like minority stakes.
It was like vanity purchases, basically.
Like 0.1% each.
Yeah.
And then all those people kept those shares when they sold it to Steve Cohen, but the Wilpons became one of those minority owners as well.
Okay.
So they still own part of the team.
So they can show up to events and make everybody uncomfortable.
They're just very uncomfortable people.
Yeah. Schmooze with Bill Maher.
You know, they have a lot in common with Bill Maher, personality-wise, I would say.
Yeah.
So
and we're talking about sorry, Rob. We were just, if you're confused by that, the Wilpons were the former owners of the New York Mets.
Yeah.
And they sold about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking to you, Rob. I know you know.
Screw them. Screw the listeners. They should not. No. I was just going to say that our Facebook video has already been covered up because of the Paul Pelosi video, not the Ron Jeremy stuff. The Paul
Really?
Pelosi
That's
video.
fine.
Not taken down, though.
You have to it's like this video features sensitive content.
That's fine. His skull, I'm sure, was very sensitive after they cracked it open.
People are gonna think it was the Ron Jeremy thing when they click through. They're never gonna even think of the hammer guy.
Can we answer this question that we got last week from Gabagool that we teased and we didn't answer?
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get to that. What was that?
Can you read it?
Sure, it's very long. Can I ask y'all if anyone has any advice? I live in Quebec and I'm a massive fan of black metal. We have an amazing scene musically, but as you can imagine, it's littered with fascists and separatists. I'm English, so obviously I think separatism is fucking stupid. And the concern about preserving the Quebecois culture is a bit comical. It's not in danger of getting lost. This is not New York City where I can pick and choose what shows to go to. There is one dude who puts on these concerts and owns the record labels. So essentially, I cannot see a local band without them being connected to each other. Aside from me putting on my own concerts, there's not much I can do. Do I just only go see the large black metal bands and come by on tour? Sometimes these large bands even headline local festivals. Seems like a shame. I don't know, is anyone in a similar situation? For a bit of context, the Quebecois people have historically been marginalized, but for the last 200 years or so have returned to power. They are the majority, but they act like they are oppressed. It's pretty hilarious and sad. So these bands are kind of proud of their ancestors fighting to preserve their rights, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of blood and soil shit, fascist stuff.
So what are they afraid of happening if they go to the show? Like interacting.
He's saying
with
the people that promote the shows are those type of people, it sounds like. And his concern is if he goes, he's like funding or supporting this type of people.
Can I answer first, or do you have a thought?
Of course, go for it.
Go ahead. No.
I've struggled with not specifically this issue, but other things like owning a soda stream that comes from Israel, or other things like that, and it's a valid concern. I think it shows that you're a good person, that you're even thinking about this. So I commend you for that. My answer is there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. No matter what you do, no matter how you spend money, you're supporting something shitty. So if that's all you're concerned about, don't worry about it. Unless if you were directly donating to a Nazi cause or something. But you know what I mean? I know you wouldn't do that. So that's like a moot point. But if you're just going to see a show you like, go to see the show and enjoy yourself. I would not harbor any guilt about that. What I thought may have also been an issue is that when you go to these shows, you're running into these horrible people, which is a different story. You may not want to deal with that. So I understand that. But if you like a show, you want to see a show, I wouldn't struggle too much with that or lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I mostly agree. I don't think like you not going to the show is not going to do anything to stop the show from happening. All that happens is you're missing out on other bands that you would want to see. And so, yeah, I think I basically echo what Darren says. Perhaps if there is a band performing with not fresh ideology, you can step outside for that band. You don't have to be physically
Or
there
just
to
avoid that
see.
particular show.
Yeah, or don't go to that show. Yeah, don't go to every show. But if a band you want to see is going, like, you got to see it, baby. Like, look, I'll say it. Like, I still listen to Pantera. I'm probably not going to go see them live, but don't really care that much. But the music's still fun, even though the people making it have said.
I also can I
nothing.
say something? Even though we joke around about Pantera, like I really don't think that he's a horrible person. I don't think he's like an outright Nazi. I do think he's got some bad ideas, and he's basically a cracker, and he was raised in the South, and he's like got some old shitty ideas. I would say that. I don't think he's like actively like lynching, pro lynching people. And
Yeah,
I
think
believe
he's more an edgelord than actually believes most of that stuff.
100% agree. I wouldn't. He doesn't go in the bin where I'd even consider boycotting a band.
Really, I think nothing. It wouldn't have been that bad if he had just apologized right away. But
yeah, he just handled the situation really poorly.
But it was great for us.
Oh yeah, we went to town. But yeah,
those are some of my. There's also a clip of ours on YouTube somewhere where we just cover his apology for like 11 or 12 minutes.
And the one where he's like sitting on a back porch, just saying something transpired up on the stage.
Yeah, and he's like,
"Man, I gotta talk to y'all. I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart."
And he was all apologetic in that, but then a few weeks later, didn't he do like an interview with Eddie Trunk when he was all defiant again?
About
like,
Rob,
I think.
He was upset
wasn't
about
it Rob Flynn? It was Rob Flynn, I think.
Rob Flynn, yeah.
No.
And the media.
I'm not confusing Rob with Rob Flynn. He did mention Rob Flynn, but he also said
those shitty bloggers.
So it was like Rob, not saying Rob.
Robert Pazzabini or whatever his name is.
You guys in Metal Sucks really did a number on poor old Phil.
Mm-hmm. It's not right. Not like it's because of us he can't play Germany now.
That's why you left the site, because you were so upset at how the Metal Injection was treating him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Part of it.
Clearly. That's all you had to sell. It's a protest.
And all right, well, I think we've done our. Of course, you could send questions if you have questions like that. Send them whenever you want. riplivecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear
Discord.
from you.
Yeah.
Or hang out in our Discord. The invite is on our website, riplivecast.com. Discord is just a chatting app. You hop in there, you hang out with us. We share some links. We got other people sharing links in there.
It's
links. Fun times. And I also want to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/RIPLivecast. $5 a month gets you access to 2 bonus episodes a month and our entire archive of like 100 bonus episodes. Most of them timeless. We have watch-alongs. We induct classic characters and moments and videos into the Livecast Hall of Fame. We have about 7 episodes of that.
How soon before we do an entire Hall of Fame episode about Ron Jeremy's belly button? What's the window before we can just? I mean, it has to be.
It's a lifetime achievement induction.
That's the episode where we actually show what's below the belly button.
You gotta pay for that, folks.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Patreon, it gets a little wild. And in fact, later this week on Wednesday, a new episode is popping up, which is essentially a whole new episode of the show. We do a full episode basically of going through a lot of weird, relatively timeless links that we've had just in our queue of links to get through that we haven't gotten through yet. And we were like, let's just do a special episode with all these weird stories about sexual things, and one of them is about Vladimir Putin. And I'm trying to remember what some of the other links were. Do you guys remember?
There was a priest who was caught having sex with some adult actresses on the altar in New Orleans.
That's right. That's right. Oh, and we delve into the subreddit big dick problems. So we talk about big dick problems. We talk about small dick problems.
Jizz
We talk
jewelry.
about dicks.
Oh yeah,
We talk about a man who was not able to get a job because of the size of his big dick. So there's a lot of dicks. Dirty dicks.
It's a very dicky episode, I would say.
And that's coming up on Wednesday. So if you're enticed enough for that particular episode, sign up on Wednesday. Otherwise, sign up right away. Yeah. Actually, I think you could sign. It's all prorated now, so you can sign up whenever you want.
Yeah. Dirty dick.
And so much great stuff in the archives. And I'm going to talk about our top Livecast fans of the week in a moment. But first, I want to talk about our Spotify playlist. Every week, we each pick a song, dump it on the playlist. You can listen for free. There's like 3 days of music now. It's a lot.
It's Woodstock.
It's Woodstock on your phone.
Yeah.
And my pick this week is from Ambient House Legends, The Orb. And the song is Toxigene. It's a very fun song. It sounds like it could be a Sonic the Hedgehog level music or like a chase scene in Speed Racer or something like that. So it's a really fun little ditty that I think you'll enjoy. And Darren, what did you pick? You picked a little silly song.
A very silly song, but I enjoy it. It's called It's Okay If You Poop/Pee Your Pants Sometimes by Papa Razzi and the Photogs. I don't know. I stumbled across this song. It seemed very silly, and it is very silly, but it's catchy. And it's very uplifting lyrics, actually. It's about exactly what it says. It's about if you poop or pee your pants sometimes, don't be ashamed. Don't feel bad. If you do it more than a couple of times a week, you should probably put a diaper on. But there's nothing.
So this isn't aimed at children. It's aimed at adults.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. Yes. But the thing is, after I proposed this song, I went back in this guy's catalog. And this album that this is on is a lot of sort of things like that, like good advice. Don't do drugs is one of them. Rob, you might not like
Sorry, Rob.
Respect authority and police.
I like that.
What?
I'm very deep and poetic, don't you think? Always tell the truth. Don't say bad words ever. But then I looked at his other works, and a lot of them are just sort of like kind of creeping on actresses.
What? Like
and actors too, actually, male actors. And all right, women love Jared Padalecki a lot is one song.
There should be no songs written about Jared Padalecki.
Bella Thorne is a teen sensation.
Okay.
Sebastian Stan is a wonderful man. Jason Momoa, be a cool dude always. Ladies love Justin Bieber.
Is this just like Randy Rainbow's alternate personality or something?
Probably.
That's very.
Kid Harington is a wonderful guy, and then that's all one album. And then on this, and Jeremy Renner, you are a good actor.
Is this Wesley Willis?
And then finally, don't do LSD.
Rob,
on the same album with all the actors songs.
Well, to be fair, I haven't done LSD. Oh no, wait, I did it last year.
It's
been a year.
I thought I was the only one who did it on this show.
No, I've done it before. One
of the worst days of my life. Like not just a drug using experience, but one of the worst days of my life. I saw the movie Mortal Kombat, the first one. And I remember there's a part in the movie where the Shang Tsung or someone's pulling up a manhole. And as I'm walking out, I started seeing like myself pulling the manhole up and spirits coming out from the sewer and stuff. And lots of other hallucinations. And it made me very scared. I felt like I was losing my mind. So.
I remember you said that you were seeing a visualization and you closed your eyes and you still saw the same visualization.
I was like, I couldn't close. No, not just that. It was like I saw the natural field of what was in front of me, like, my room or whatever. and then I would close my eyes and I would still see the exact same thing.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
I couldn't close my eyes, which is a nightmare.
Well, it sounds like you took a little too much.
I think a combination of things. I did take too much, and you're right. But also, I'm not equipped to handle LSD mentally.
That's fair. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Yeah, I did some last year, and it was just pretty mild. It wasn't nearly as much. Some on the beach in Mexico where it's safe.
Oh, I also have a little addendum to that story, or a prequel, I should say. Before, the reason I did this acid was because I was had a friend who was like, he spent the first 21 or so years of his life being a complete and total nerd, didn't get laid, and he was very socially awkward. And when we started becoming friends, and it just happened to, and it wasn't because of me, he just coincided with him being like fed up with that. And he had to now have every tactile experience in the world. So he was talking to every girl. He was and he was a pretty decent looking guy, average looking guy. He just was very shy before. He broke out of his shell, started doing every drug, started doing sports. He did everything he could possibly do in the world, climbing shit, going on climbs. And he insisted that we do acid. And he was the guy I went to Woodstock with, 94. And that's when I had that experience with. But we did acid at Woodstock, but it didn't kick for either of us. Like he got some bad shit or like duds, and we didn't get high at all. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, good. Like this is, thank goodness. I shouldn't have done this in the first place. I was 20. And then, but then he persisted later on, like the week later, 2 weeks later. He's like, we're doing this. Like you're doing it with me. I've never done acid before. I was like, okay, fuck it. And I did it, and it was miserable.
So what ended up happening with that guy?
We were friends for 5, 6, 7 years or something, and then we just drifted apart. I don't really remember. I remember he worked for a movie company.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember the name,
but at least all his experimentation didn't lead to instant death.
So no. He was a very together guy. Like he just had a phase. Like he had a phase where he had to do all this shit.
His name was George Santos.
No, he was actually doing these things. So I was there. I can verify. Well, not the sex. He did have sex with me in the same apartment, but not in the same room. I was never in the same room.
All right.
I'm telling so many stories, but out of nowhere at the end of the show. But the guy, maybe I'll tell this next time. His girlfriend approached me to have a threesome with him and her without telling him.
Or did she just say she wasn't telling him because she didn't want you to know that he wanted one?
I would have suspected that, except he got really pissed about it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to participate. And
did you agree to? Oh, okay.
No. I wouldn't. That's not my thing at all. I'm too much in my own head to do that.
Yeah. Maybe if they asked you while you were on acid.
Right. She was very attractive, though.
It sounds like we have to all do acid on air. Like that could be a Patreon episode.
No.
Oh, that wasn't. By the way, that story I just told had nothing to do with acid. That was like before.
Okay.
Before we did the acid, but in the middle of his phase of like fucking or being with a different girl in a relationship every week. Sorry for that sidebar.
No, that was great. Let's wrap it up with the top Livecast fans of the week.
I didn't say my song.
Oh, sorry. What was your song?
Can I say my song?
My apologies.
Tom Verlaine from the band Television died this weekend. So when a musician dies, I tend to be like, oh, that's an easy playlist song choice for me. Then cool, I'll just pick the song from the dead guy. And so that's what I did. I picked the song "See No Evil" from Television. R.I.P. Tom Verlaine.
R.I.P. Verlaine.
Yeah. Now you could go ahead and do the shout outs.
Yeah, so we got the top Livecast fans of the week. If you want to throw us a few extra bones, $10 a month gets you a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. Darren, how do you feel about doing it as Phil Anselmo apologizing?
This could get very edgy. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of where it's going to go in my mind.
Hopefully you don't have any shows booked in Germany.
Eric, Benjamin, Dan R. I'm sorry what I said about you guys. I really take it back. I never should have said you look like the Three Stooges. That was awful of me. That's horrible. Sam, I am Mindy May's keeper, especially you. I'm sorry for all those Jew jokes that I cracked. You told me what a keeper was, and I'm very educated now on the topic. Jander and Shasur. I'm sorry I made fun of your very ethnic sounding names. Cattle Decaf. I'm sorry I called you Sanka. That was a low blow. Nobody under 95 likes Sanka. Robber Vampiro. The only Vampiro I knew was that Mexican guy, and I said a whole bunch of stuff related to chimichangas, and I am so sorry to both you and Hugo Likes Tacos for very obvious reasons. Lando Danks, I'm very, very sorry for not getting the joke that it's about weed and butter. That was my fault. I'm a little slow when I'm not doing racism. La Croix, I'm sorry I said you were not fizzy enough. That was very insensitive of me. Corey, Scotty H, Doug Pigman, I actually don't remember what I said to you, but I am very, very sorry for it. It's pretty terrible. Douglas, who are you, Levison? I'm sorry I said you were 2'7" with no lower body. You're actually 3'7" with no lower body. And hey, guys, it's Josh. I am so sorry I compared you to Ron Jeremy's belly button.
Oh, no.
God bless Texas, everybody.
All right. With that, we will be back next Saturday at our regular time, noon Eastern. And hopefully you can tune on then. Till then, we'll see you on our Discord. Come hang out with us. It'd be nice. Please.
Bye-bye.
Bye.